ninja star thrown at one of them. He's just saying, just so you all know, this is unacceptable. I think it's a brilliant way to cause infighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to let the person who is guilty know that the glove does fit, actually. And that was a reference to O.J. Simpson murders. Happened back in the 90s.
Yes. All right, so then...
Do you remember the Bronco?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Do you remember who was driving?
AC.
AC.
I kind of felt like you were in the Bronco when I was doing that whole slow-mo jizz thing. I felt bad for you.
Oh, yeah. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted, couple things going on. One, this is my flu game. I have a kink in my neck. It shouldn't be this bad. Oh, you have a kink in your neck. It shouldn't be this debilitating, right?
Wow.
I'm not going to be able to look at you this evening.
Okay, that's fine.
Which may hurt the comedic synergy.
Not at all. I fear direct eye contact.
Okay. Second, many of you know producer Kalen.
Oh, don't go on a diatribe about poor Kalen. He brought in all this new equipment in here.
Can I?
A little.
If it sounds weird, which it does to us right now, I mean, it sounds unlike anything I've ever heard. It sounds like a broadcast from a satellite station, And so if it is that bad, I don't know. It could just be in my headphones right now.
Well, you do have the flu.
No, I don't have the flu. I have a kink in my neck.
You sound like you have. You're getting the bug.
Well, no, it's just, when a load of pain is this bold, it starts to tendril out everywhere. I don't know what it is. It might be the naproxen, which I wish you could take more of. But listen, we have a ton of stuff to get into tonight. It's episode 3 of season 11 of Below Deck. Pat, public service announcements.
Patreon.com. We have a wonderful, very entertaining season of Love is Blind season 6. First 3 episodes are on our free feed, Bad TV, if you'd like to listen there. But the rest of the season is definitely going to be behind a paywall. Patreon.com/another podcast network. Check it out. It's some of our best work.
I mean, I can't tell you how much fun I'm having watching this show. It's back. Well, it's all the way back.
To be fair, it didn't really have to do much to be better than that last season.
Right. So listen, let's get into the episode. Poop.
What?
Poop.
You didn't like the episode?
All poop.
How many poops you give it?
I'd probably give it like 92 poops if we are in Upside Down land. But I mean, I just felt like there wasn't that much going on this episode. More feuding between Kat and Barbie. A lot of C-Rat sad stuff tonight. I mean, we're going to get into lots of stuff. What's that place in Orange County called? Yorba Linda?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, wow. Nothing good happens in Yorba Linda. Not a single fucking thing. 99 poops.
99 poops. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I felt differently about it. I'm enjoying this because I like competent people. Captain Carey's awesome. He's doing a fine job there. I love how he does all the inspections. Fraser, who's a friend of the show, I think he is an amazing leader, but I want to put this out there in the comment section. Is there a difference with a male between calling her a bitch or saying she's being bitchy? Because that's what happened on tonight's show. He said, "You're acting like a bitch to me." So I would feel that he's calling her a bitch. And anyway, that was a misstep on your part there, Fraser. You know I love you, buddy. But let us know in the comments, because I feel like they both would equally. I'll
let you know right now.
What do you think?
Bilingual French-speaking kind of demigod gay can say you're being bitchy to any underling, be it man or woman.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's laws of the universe, laws of 2024 universe, I think.
Wow, good for him.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I enjoyed the episode. Yeah, this boat, it's just in chaos. It's like no matter what you do against your best efforts to try and hold together a crew, a team without infighting, it's more difficult than you'd think when you're dealing with sea rats.
You mind if I spoke it here?
No, go for it, man. Anyway, I enjoyed the episode, 60 knots.
All right, so where do we kick off?
Okay. We begin with the episode with Frasier caught in the middle of those two stews that are not fans of each other.
That's right.
Yeah, way to go on production. Very clever with that split screen where both stews are calling each other bitches. Wow, lots of production this season.
Yeah, did you see that, much production.
Did you see that shot they did with that espresso machine?
I did. Clooney himself was wetting his drawers when he saw that, and I apologize for saying that.
Beautiful imagery. I called it a latte cum shot.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Okay. I don't feel so bad.
Before you're pulling up your notes, a little sidebar here.
Yeah.
I appreciate in porn, when the guy, finishes and one angle isn't good enough. They need the slow motion shot from 3 different angles. That's effort there.
I've seen that before in pornography, and I always ask myself, who needs this?
Well, maybe I did. I wanted to see that angle. I didn't see where the jizz actually landed on the earlobe, so the third angle in slow motion really helped me figure that out.
Can I ask why you're doing this?
Oh, I was trying to kill time while you were...
Because people come to this show to... And again, I wish I could look at you right now. But I have a kink in my neck. But people come to this show for wholesome, quirky breakdowns of their favorite nautical reality show. And here you are talking about slow motion cum shots. And I just think that, it might be turning some people off, but listen, fuck you. I stand by my bro. You know what
Thanks,
I mean?
Pal.
Yeah.
If that offended anybody, I'm sorry. I was trying to kill some time. Dill pulled up his notes.
So we were feuding with the two ladies. Barbie says that she doesn't lie, and we end the meeting with a hug and deeper entrenched disdain for one another. If we're measuring things on a scale of conflict resolution, I think this is it's pretty low.
Big time.
Yeah, dare I say, like 90 poops this whole thing is. Well, I mean, these women hate each other.
Yeah, I appreciated at least initially they were able to put their differences aside because, Dylan, I'd forgot. It's time to go out and party.
Absolutely. Is this our first night out?
Gosh, I think so.
How do we have memory loss after 3 episodes?
It's worth mentioning, by the way, I don't want the audience to forget this. Ben had a huge role to play in this spat.
Oh, yeah. Ben is, and we'll get to Ben later, but he does another thing this episode where you're just like, I think I know who the real Regina George is. She's got huge nips.
Well, the crew head out, and we get a little sea rat history from Chef Anthony. Mm-hmm. Turns out his dad's ticker shit out on him. Shit out on him.
Oh, can I say also, not only have the HD 4K 1080p LED transitions like really bumped their game up, but they've got like a royalty-free Chance the Rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, this show is really firing on all cylinders.
Definitely different producers. Hey, what'd you think of Chef Anthony's Sea Rat history on the Sea Rat sad scale?
Heart attacks happen to a lot of people. The thing that I thought, sorry, what's going on? Are you, I can't see you right now.
Oh, I'm just hearing your thoughts.
Okay.
It was a 3. The Barnacles, it was a 3. As Dylan's pointing out, a lot of people's parents die, unfortunately, an early death with their ticker shitting out.
Yeah.
If he lost his pops, in a knife fight with a bad drug deal gone wrong, that's an 8.
Uh-huh. You know what's even sadder than somebody passing away from a heart attack? Us taking for granted the mobility of a good working neck. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I feel bad for you right now.
And I guarantee, Benihana caused this.
Oh.
Benihana is at fault. And we will talk about my evening at Benihana in my 1-star review that I left. I went to Yelp. On APS, patreon.com/another podcast network. But what happens when rotted canola oil runs through your body and makes you almost shit your pants had you not run numerous red lights? 15 minutes after the meal, what happens is your circadian rhythm gets completely upended, okay? You sleep poorly one night, you sleep great the other night, a little too great, you wake up, your neck's kinked, okay? And it's all Steve Aoki's fault. Let's get into the next thing that happened, but before we do, can I just say, can Fraser get any hotter? I mean, the guy speaks French.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. My God.
Hey, Dill, did you catch the name of the restaurant they went to?
No.
It was called the Aquarium.
Okay.
And I'll say this, that's in poor taste.
Yeah.
Aquariums are where fish live and swim around.
Right.
They're not where you grill fish. That's disgusting.
Right.
Where are you going to breakfast? A place called the Chicken Coop? That's disgusting as well.
Right. Yeah. Although I'm sure there are some kind of poorly named restaurants all over these United States of America. Places with armadillo eggs called the Slaughterhouse. It's like, what are you guys trying to do here? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, Guy Fieri came twice, so it's clearly working. So we sit down for dinner. The bosun, who's the bosun animated dog?
Bosun animated dog. Kyle?
No. What's his name? The bosun.
Oh, Jared. Oh, yeah.
He orders an aquatic medley. And listen, just a note for restaurants, don't use the word medley if you're trying to go upscale. It is not a... It insists large quantities, troughs and buckets when I think medley, But he gobbles that shit right down.
Well, you took issue with that. I took issue with the toast. Chef Anthony, he made that toast at the table. Mm-hmm. I believe it was, may you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Kidding. He's a sea rat. He toasted to smelling assholes.
That was Sonny.
That was Sonny that did that?
Yeah.
I think he did it, and then she repeated it back. I could be wrong. That's, you know what?
You're wrong.
Unbecoming of a dinner table.
We learn a little bit about Barbie, 3 nannies. China, Uruguay, Argentina, Miami, Dubai, Qatar, Syria. I mean, she's been everywhere.
But more importantly, she has 3 nannies. One that cooks, one that cleans, one is her personal stylist. I want to tell Barbie something. Barbie, hold these things close to the vest, even if they really did happen, because it generally perpetuates an image that you're a privileged idiot. Yeah,
so I am a privileged idiot, so I have a difficulty in criticizing Barbie. Who's to say... Who's to clip the wings of a privileged little shit? She's proud of the way that she grew up. And who's to say she can't be proud of it? You can be proud of it, but definitely reframe it. Let's work on a new matting surrounding this whole thing, right? Let's just soften it up a little bit so you don't sound like a psychopath.
Well, Dill, no one likes a person that brags, though. And it's kind of like it's framed as a humble brag. I once had a friend who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
A dear friend who was a girl, met a guy who was loaded, or his parents were. They owned a bunch of art museums. Yeah. Anyway, her favorite color was pink, so she'd pull up to my house with a pink Hummer. Oh. And then she'd go, you want to go for a ride? And she'd brag about it. And then, and just always bragging. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to hang out. I'm putting you on ice for a while.
Yeah. Pat does that to friends. Mm-hmm. You get put on ice after a while.
Are we going to talk about Jared?
Are we off tonight?
I don't think so. I think you can't look at me, so you're in pain. So it's affecting your perception of how this totally awesome pod is really going.
I doubt it's totally awesome. But listen, we've done totally awesome ones in the past. So, listen. We take for granted the mobility of our necks, All right, so we learn that Jared has never met his daughter. The Sea Rats really rally around him and call this an amazing story. Now, I don't want to sound like a dick.
I have that same note.
Or anything, but it's definitely not an amazing story, right?
No, it's definitely not.
It's not something that inspires you to be hopeful about the human condition or anything. It's just a guy who's FaceTiming with a daughter
that he's never met.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, idiot, go book an Alaskan Airlines flight and meet your fucking daughter, you knucklehead. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's amazing. You talk to her on FaceTime on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Wow, Father of the Year.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think you're a nice guy, Jared. Mm-hmm. But come on, get it together.
So we're really getting into the backstory of Captain Carey this season.
Love it.
We meet his missus. What was her name?
Didn't catch the name.
Well, I have something written down, but I'm not confident that it's correct, and I don't want to offend the Turkish.
Well, Captain Kerry's my new best friend. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's learning Turkish so that he can ask for his girlfriend's mother's permission to marry her. And I had this thought. I hope that asking the mother for the permission is like Turkish tradition or something, because if it's not, that means her dad's dead.
Yeah, well, he's probably dead. But listen, Carrie has this conversation over a succulent platter of, I think, 38 lobster tails. I mean, my God, does this guy live high on the hog when he's back in the boat?
He needs fuel.
So many lobster tails. So Ben in Quebec headed off. And Kyle describes Barbie as the kind of girl who you'd want to take home to mom.
And then drink a gallon of whiskey and pass out.
Come again? Why'd you say that, Kyle? I don't think so. That's not, like, objectively correct. So, Kat is not having a good time. She's just not having a good time. Jared and Barbie chat in the back. He says, I like that when I look into your eyes, I see truth, and she laughs in his face. Now, while I'm not a fan of Barbie, this is the only appropriate response to somebody telling you this.
Agreed.
Unless it's some kind of sadhu, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they would speak like this.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're all back in the vans, and then they get back to the boat, and Frasier goes to bed because someone's got to wake up and manage this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And then we learn what takes Vampira out, and it's not garlic, it's booze. She's a lightweight.
Yeah, and it's not the sun either. As we revealed last episode, she is a goddess among her creatures. She is the Daywalker. So she has a lot of kind of invulnerabilities, but once the booze starts hitting, you know, she gets a little loose-footed, and even then, I mean, she is a vampire. Like, she's not going to get hurt from slamming her face in the wall of a jacuzzi, but, you know, that's what happens. Listen, she's just having a good time. And then we get to our first kissy.
Little tonsil hockey.
Yeah. This is cute. Sending the text. I wish it wasn't to Ben, who is Regina George. Let's just start calling him Regina George.
Good.
We get to the next day.
Next morning.
Did we have to talk about Factor?
Oh, yeah.
Early on in the episode?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they wanted it at the beginning.
Man. Well, we will do that, but we'll also do it right now. Pat.
Yes.
How crazy is Factor?
I love Factor. Okay, so my meal plan is portion control because they have all these different plans you can pick out because I need portion control. And what I do is I say, I'm only going to eat what's on this plate and then I'm done. And after you have one of those meals, you are done and you feel good about yourself because you didn't, go over the top. That's my problem as an eater. I always go over the top.
Yeah.
And actually tonight I actually had a asparagus and shrimp on a bed of rice. It was delicious. The thing was like less than 300 calories.
Wow, that's so special. Factor is easy, affordable, cheap, affordable, fast, and easy. Pat, I am in a panic right now because of how much I love Factor, and also because I don't know where the ad is.
It's on your phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's on my phone. Okay, that could have been communicated. Right? I mean, are we living in an insane asylum? My God. Pat, keep talking about Factor. It's so good.
So my wife actually has the low-calorie plan, and she's enjoying that as well, Dylan. You go over there. It's easy. You hit their website. It just asks you, go through, check out all their plans. You find one that fits you, and then they give you how many meals they'll mail you in a week.
Yeah.
For us, we're doing 12. And gets us through the entire week. And we don't even need to think about food.
Oh, my gosh. Listen, I hope you're happy, and I hope Factor's happy with what has been the longest ad read in their buys history, I think. Head to factormeals.com/belowdeck50 and use code belowdeck50 to get 50% off. That's code belowdeck50 at factormeals.com/belowdeck50. Let's rewind it because this is the most important part. Okay? Code belowdeck50 at factormeals.com/belowdeck50 to get 50% off.
So the next day begins with a look back on Jared and being a complete F up from the first charter, all, dropping the anchor early.
Oh, yeah, all the things.
All those things. And Jared looks at today as a new day to get it right. And what better way to be effective than waking up with a hangover?
Right.
Did you know all professional boxing coaches tell their boxers, go out and get shit-faced the night before a fight because it gives them just that little edge they need to be effective in the ring?
Yeah, you can't be overconfident when you're on the verge of throwing up. Luckily, you can take a bong rip, and that'll settle things down. That's exactly what Jared does, and he heads out to clean up. The good news after Captain's high-def cappuccino is that his bosun is turning things around. Now, Fraser is in full anarchy mode, and we should say that, you know, we have a lot of European and Australian fans, and I keep seeing comments about Yanks and Americans calling him Fraser because that's what we're used to over here, you know, Fraser.
They weren't accusing us, by the way. They were accusing his subordinates of calling him Fraser.
Oh, okay. But I still feel like we call him Fraser.
I do a Z.
Do you do a Z?
I do a Z.
Oh, man. Do I Kelsey Grammer it? I just want to make a statement now. I'm going to try to be better, right? Okay. So Fraser's in full anarchy mode, and he is switching up the roles.
Yes.
Okay? Listen, as is evidenced by what happens in 7 minutes, I don't think it was a good call.
Probably not. So Barbie will be the floater. Vampira will do service, and Kat will be left being alone in the laundry dungeon, I believe.
More on that at 5. Ben and Sonny have a little chat. He says, did you want affection last night or attention? This guy. I mean, are you trying to have sex or not? Maybe this is how it works in the wild. You know, I've been out of the game for some time, and I have a stiff neck right now. I mean, I couldn't hit on a woman to save my life, you know? Mm-hmm. But, I mean, is this negging to the nth degree? Like, this seems like too serious a neg. You know, you're supposed to be like, oh, you're like, well, one fucking eye is bigger than the other one, you know? But do you know what I mean?
The backhanded compliment?
Well, but what? Yeah, exactly. But what he's doing here is he's like, it's too internal.
Yeah.
It's a goring comment.
Ben's giving me the ick. He's got a great work ethic, but he's a gossipy little bitch.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's particularly good at being a womanizer.
Speaking of gossip, let's gossip about what these charter guests are going to want on their vacation during the preference sheet meeting. On his way to the meeting, Fraze sees Kat, and he asks how she's doing, and she's in tears. More on that. Also at 5. So these charter guests are going to want to go to a waterfall.
Yeah, the Andal waterfalls. You know, Dill, they're known for their luscious green forests and epic trails, per Captain Carey.
Yeah.
But are there mangroves there? Because if there aren't, how could it possibly be amazing?
It's almost the perfect setting for a fucking fair renewal. But there were no mangroves there, so it's a 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Hollywood dinner is also going to be something that they want, and a cake. Okay? Let's see how they do. So Carrie heads around the boat and teaches a little Turkish to the gang. That was awkward. We crack a few beers with Kat and Fraser, and we get to the C-Rat Sad scale.
Yeah. I can't make light of this, Dylan, because there still is a part of me that has nerve endings and a soul. Mm-hmm. Let's just say this C-Rat Sad rating is off the charts.
Uh-huh. But Patrick, does it usurp an 8-year-old girl getting told her father was gunned down and to go be a good ballerina?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Dill, just a run down. Because some of our listeners, they don't actually watch the show. This is what we have in the C-Rat's sad history. Losing both parents, being in the foster system. If it wasn't worse, there's a cult involved. And then siblings were split apart.
Ooh, you know what? We got to do a better job at this. I just want to say thank you to we had a fan draw out a C-Rat Sad scale,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's very accurate.
Love you for that. Sorry, we don't remember your name right now, but love you so much for that. But yeah, this is off the charts.
Off the charts.
When he drew this, he did not conceive of something this sad. This is, at the very least, a Hulu documentary. At the very least.
Very close.
So, happy ending. She chose her brother and made it out of the cult. Now, Mummy's a little tired, girl. Let's get to sleep and then to the next day.
Well, I was going to say, Fraser does an inspection of the boat. He's kind of looking to be like more like Captain Carey. Towels aren't right, and I think it was Kat's fault. So he calls in a meeting. Oh, that did happen the next day. Forgive me, Dylan.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So anyway, he calls.
How dare you just demand that I forgive you?
Oh,
like, why not give me a little bit of space and maybe like we can talk about whether or not I'm going to.
Well, I'm trying to be better.
Okay. So it looks like Kat has been fucking up quite a bit. She rolled a towel like a doner kebab. And Frage is, listen, I just love watching this cat manage. I think he's doing a bang up job.
He really is, but
bang up job.
A little misstep with that whole bitch thing, though. I think.
I don't think so. But he kind of does a really like. I mean, this is Robert Greene. Robert Greene's rolling over in his grave right now going, I'm not dead. I'm very much still alive and writing books. He would be ecstatic about this tactic. Fraser says, all of you have fucked up. Right? There is no blame. There is no, ninja star thrown at one of them. He's just saying, just so you all know, this is unacceptable. I think it's a brilliant way to cause infighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to let the person who is guilty know that the glove does fit, actually. Mm-hmm. And that was a reference to O.J. Simpson murders. Happened back in the 90s.
Yes. All right, so then...
Do you remember the Bronco?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Do you remember who was driving?
AC. I kind of felt like you were in the Bronco when I was doing that whole slow-mo jizz thing. I felt bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Fraser shares a story of his...
Was it the 134?
It was the 405, dude.
Oh, it was the 405?
Yeah. He lived off Rockingham. Okay. So Fraser shares a story of his crazy history with some of his workers, one of which was a homophobic, either a coworker or boss.
Chief engineer, yeah.
He shared this story on the interview that we did with him.
Yeah, that's true. So there was some guy, and he didn't like the fact that Fraser was a queer. And so what he decided to do was assault him, try to burn off his fingerprints.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He also, Fraser told another story where some coworker would smack his hands with a stick. Do you remember that one?
No.
Like a nun when they used to be teachers.
Yeah, it's pretty insane to be a human being and find out that somebody's gay and try to burn them. I mean, that is... yeah. Kind of cavernous levels of stupidity. I mean, it's really shocking. I'm sorry that you went through that phrase. Mm-hmm. I hope that guy is, I hope that guy gets tea thrown on him. Well, know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, Fraser asked Barbie to take it easy on Kat, given her story that he just heard, and she gives a little pushback.
Yeah.
And then he tells her to zip it. And I believe she tells us he's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what did you say? What was that last part?
Oh, she told us he's a fucking dick.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So, I've noticed this pattern with people over the past few years. If you say you own your shit, there are people that are like, listen, if you say that,
you have no self-accountability.
You're likely an asshole who thinks that apologies are this magical cure-all. Like, I apologized for, smashing your mailbox over and over again with this Louisville Slugger. I own my shit. I was a little crazy that night.
Things got crazy.
It's like, so, but why do you do stuff like that? Like, it's so weird.
Well, that's not the point, though. I own it.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. So let's get to the tacky charter guests. They are tacky. They love nacho cheese and Cheez-Its, but who the fuck doesn't love those things?
Dylan,
I mean, my God.
And by the way, and I was reminded, while Fraser is an amazing leader, he's still a sassy little gay because he does call the guests tacky.
Yeah.
They're not tacky, Fraser. They're filthy, yucky normies. They like cheese.
They're not filthy, yucky normies because they're chartering a yacht. So... I don't, Yeah, no, they still could be. You know what? It's not that they're chartering a yacht. It's just I feel as though they're not. I feel as though they're not normies. There's a je ne sais quoi about them.
Perhaps,
you know?
but Dylan, the facts are the facts. They love Cheez-Its. They mentioned them several times. Even my 4-year-old asked me to stop putting those goddamn things in her lunchbox. She felt they were making her dumber. And it's amazing the inside of a small child.
Yeah.
They are our future.
Dude, I feel like, you remember when we were talking about that guy that poured water all over Frasier and you felt like AC?
Yeah.
I feel like AC right now because when you come at Cheez-Its, it's essentially like going after Taylor Swift. I mean, this is a very, very beloved brand, you know, and if people get pissed off about Pat ridiculing your favorite cheesy snack, just know that it's a mistake and that he's trying to get better, okay? We have a bar conversation that is absolutely magnificent. Frasier and Barbie have a little dispute over what is the classic way to make a margarita. Spoiler alert, Barbie. It is not with a splash of orange juice.
No. I think it does have orange in the name, but it's liqueur.
Yeah, it's like, you know, Curacao or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, but she uses her time rather than just make those classic margaritas for the guests. She takes 15 minutes to scroll through some old journal to prove that Frasier's wrong.
That book was like a cocktail book from the 60s. And it was like, oh, right here, you see, it's the, you know, the New Delhi Slinger or something like that. This is exactly, it's like, what the fuck? Just shut up and make the fucking margarita. Why are you trying to win an argument right now? They haven't gotten their drinks in 30 minutes.
Because if you win an argument, Dylan, in a relationship, you're actually losing, you know? And actually both people lose.
Well, she storms off and calls him a dick, which is shocking. So we get to tablescaping, and Kat is driving the Daywalker absolutely nuts. Zandy is really the only one in interior or out of the girls that is a stable genius. And it's because she has a healthy understanding of what the C-Rat life is, right? Mm-hmm. You do your work to an excellent level during the day, and at night, you headbutt jacuzzis, okay? That is how you succeed in this industry. Mm-hmm. She is a vampire, though, so she does have a leg up. She's 917 years old. So we break down with Frasier and Barbie.
More grief she's giving him because she ignores his direction. And then they get into it and she says, I feel like you're coming at me all the time.
Yeah.
She does not like authority, I think.
No, not a fan of it. Not a fan of it at all.
Which is a problem because she's a C-Rat. They're nothing without authority.
Yeah, it's almost like she hasn't been told no a lot in life. Mm. So let's get to lunch. It is going to be, this is dinner.
No, this is lunch.
This is lunch, okay.
Yeah.
It is a Greek salad with mint mousse and chicken cordon bleu with ratatouille, classic French, little heavy for lunch, a lot of heavy for lunch. But it should be known, Below Deck is doing a much better job highlighting the dishes, okay? We're getting chyrons of chef's table kind of aesthetic, and I appreciate it. It's tricky for me as this thing that has come, the thing that I've asked for such a long time. It comes with Patrick and I having screeners from Bravo. Now the problem
is the watermark goes over the subtitles. Yep. I know seems like a bad problem to have, but
yeah, it's champagne problems. But I would like to see it. But what happens is they show it, and it's like, you know, this belongs to Patrick at whatever, and if you give it to anybody, we'll fucking kill your whole family. It's like, well, I can't read what the dish is, you know?
It's especially an issue when Kyle talks.
Right.
No fucking idea what's coming out of his mouth.
So, yeah, great lunch. Jordan has picked up his boots, and Anthony has not. There is no food for the crew. More than that at 5. Let's get to nighttime. We get another combo between Frasier and Barbie. I believe this is Bitchgate. Is this
Bitchgate?
Okay. Now, Bitchgate ends with her saying, I'm going to work on my attitude, but I'm not happy. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you for letting me know your emotional state at the end of you promising to get better. This is the kind of thing where, I mean, we see it at the end of the episode. Fraser is here. He's here. He's had it. Because Fraser can see this isn't going anywhere good. This is a tornado on my boat. And tornadoes are very dangerous to boats.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, I've heard it so many times. One comes through to rip the whole thing up.
Well, they're at quite the crossroads. Now, I didn't think Fraser, at the tail end of the episode, not to get ahead of myself, would report this to Captain Carey, but I feel that the cliffhanger was a bit deceptive. It's meant to think that Fraser's going to ask to get her fired, but I think he's just alerting Carey that there is an issue. But
Okay,
we'll
so we got to keep her around. I mean, she's too entertaining right now. But dinner is going to be a car park tailgating football themed meal. First up is deconstructed French onion soup and a little surf and turf. The meat, the turf, it's chewy.
Hey, Dill, if you don't mind, I'd like to digress for a second. Before the guests eat that food, they bless the food. In the only way a filthy, yucky normie can. I have the transcript. Dear God, thank you for all this awesome shit you fucking rained down on us. Jet skis are fucking awesome. So is America. Amen.
Yeah. I mean, that's a damn good prayer. You know, we don't have to get all righteous about it. We can just say, hey, big guy, thanks for sending all this fucking cool shit down. And thank you for inventing skidoos because they're so much fun. So we grow up with trauma, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We all do. Not quite like Kat, but we all do grow up with trauma. When you do grow up with a massive amount of trauma, what with your parents both passing away, being put in the foster care system, being split up from your brother and living with a cult, you get a little insecure about yourself and you have a lot of anxiety. My God. I just want to give Kat a hug. I really do.
You know, you truly don't know someone's personal journey in their life experience. When we're out there walking by people, honking horns at them, you know what life that person had.
Yeah. Like if I was walking past Kat, I would just be like, oh, wow, that girl looks like the Powerpuff Girl Bubbles grew up. But I wouldn't think that she was in a cult in Yorba Linda, and I think that we should probably just move people out of Yorba Linda just in general, because I think that there's an Indian burial ground there.
Some good wine too, though. By
that I mean Native American burial ground. Okay, so we get to lunch for the crew. That is non-existent. Carrie says, listen here, this needs to get sorted. And he tells Anthony, it doesn't have to be good, you idiot. You don't have to make croque madames for everybody, okay? Just throw some fucking sandwiches out there, all right? Listen, this is fuel.
Hey, I do want to mention, I love this about human beings. After dinner, Fraser asks the guests, what are you going to do after dinner? And they answer, sleep. And he says, I love that idea. I love when people say what's in their head and they don't realize that it might come off as offensive.
Yeah, it's called a Freudian slip. Yeah.
Glad there's a word for it.
Yeah. You know, my, what breasts you have, you say to the bank teller. And, you know, many would call that sexual harassment, but you would call it just a Freudian slip. Okay, so the guests head down. Kyle and Barbie have some tea and talk about venereal diseases, and we get to the next day.
Next day.
The guests wake up, and we get to Ben being a fucking suckbag Regina George again.
Sunny's on the jet ski. She's driving. I don't know why. Maybe she's practicing it, make sure the thing works.
Maybe she's just maneuvering it, and hey, we're all sea rats. It's not a big deal. I'm taking the fucking jet ski around. I can't stand when people are all fucking precious about life vests. It's like, come on.
It's probably the law in maritime. They have very few laws out there, but this might be one. And Ben uses the radio to let inform everyone that she's not wearing that life jacket. And this pretty much irritates everyone, including Sunny, who he's been sucking face with.
This was probably the most catty thing that Ben's done this so far. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that this is getting broadcast. He goes, essentially, hey, everyone. You know, that's what you're doing. Hey, everyone, including Boss Man, Captain Carey. Hey, everyone, including all of those people. Guess what I just saw? Disgusting behavior. Ben, figure it out. Everybody else, love you so much, okay? I will be able to look at Pat next week. I'm really looking forward to that, right? Because while you do hate direct eye contact, I feel as though there was something missing when I can't look into your eyes while we record this show.
It's okay.
You know, there's just vaguely another man next to me, which is actually quite scary. So get in the iTunes range, reviews, leave 5 stars, kind words, join us at patreon.com/another podcast network for Love is Blind. Holy shit. Is that fun stuff, right, Pat?
Absolutely. I'm really enjoying it.
Factor, Instagram, love you. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.